Okay, thank you all for joining. We are about to get started right now. Thank you all those are joining right now in the attendees. So let's start this live session with the basics. What is Customily? Well, most of you installed the app quite recently and are either getting started with your store from scratch or beginning the process of selling personalizable products on an existing store. Now, for both cases, we have the perfect tools to get started. So Customily is an app that you can install in your e-commerce store, and it will provide your products with live previews of personalizations. Customers will be able to interact with options, and that live preview will change with every interaction. So from text typing, for example, to color selection, font selection, image selection, or even image uploads, this live preview, as you can see, is changing and showing you a realistic example of how the customization will look on the finished product. Not only that, Customity will take this information that you're inputting here and will create a ready-to-print file that can go straight to fulfillment. So if you think about it and if you think about all the process you had to go over when you were selling customizable products before Customity, you will probably have to create a listing that involved a lot of images with multiple options so customers will understand what was available, and they will have to type in the notes of the order which options they wanted, what custom text they wanted, and they will need to wait for you to grab that information, create a proof, send over, receive the corrections, and go back and forth until you finish with the design the customer wants. Now, think about all the time that was consumed with that process and try to escalate that to many orders per day. So, using Customity will simplify the process because it will give the merchant the power to create any design and any product, and the customer will be able to input whatever text they want and customize it any way they want, or upload whatever image they want and pick the characters they want and preview live how the product will end up. And not only that, after they purchase, the merchant gets the ready to print file, so there's no need to do a post production to go back and forth. Everything is done automatically. So how does Customity work? On the front end of any product, Customity will load a template. The template is this graphic interface you see here that will show the live preview. What live preview will show? Whatever you type in the options. So there are two main files that Customity needs to work on your store: the template and the options. So whatever you type will automatically show and update, and whatever you apply to this will live change for you. So as you can see, the system is pretty straightforward, and if you actually follow the steps of creating a template from scratch, the options will create automatically. So all you have to do is pick the template and pick the options and link them to any existing product in your store. So whenever you are working with existing products and you have the necessary information to put together a live, a personalizable version of your product, all you have to do is put together the template and the options will go automatically and link them. Today we're going to see how to do that. But there's also another stage and another scenario in which you can be right now, which is a brand new store. And let me go back to the presentation and tell you a bit our tools for creating new listings. That's what we call Customity 2.0. Now, this is our latest update for Etsy and Shopify stores, and this allows you to create and publish personalizable products easier, faster, and better than before. Because now you can create your listings. So if you're starting your store from scratch, you will have more interest in this section because you can pick now any product from any print on demand supplier. You can add a design to that product, and create the product in your store. And you can do that all from the Customily app. Also, with certain print-on-demand providers that have API connection, you can integrate that in Customily and have all the fulfillment processes automated. So this means that once you receive a purchase, all the order details and the ready-to-print file that was created by Customily will be sent to the corresponding POD provider automatically for fulfillment and shipping. So not only Customily is saving you time on the customer side by having them choose whatever customization they want, it's saving you time on the print file creation, and now it can save you time in the fulfillment processes by taking away the manual steps of going to the POD, adding the product, and enabling the fulfillment. This can be automated for certain print-on-demand providers. And not only that, Customily 2.0 allows you to access Customily's design libraries. Now, these are an exclusive collection that you have access and you can use to create designs. For example, the design on the girl's t-shirt is a Customily design. And you have free access not only to the design as it is, but also to the clip art. You can pick the cats and the dogs and the characters and the scenarios and create your own designs. And you can use this exclusive clip art to your own creations. So it's very important that you approach Customily with a clear idea of what you want to do as personalizable products. If you have existing products, you'll probably have a lot of information that you have firsthand, and creating a template from scratch will be faster because you have the specifics of each product and each mockup and the customization you want to provide. And if you're going to be creating new products, you can use Customily to simplify the steps and not only create the listing and the connection to a print-on-demand provider, but also creating automatically the template that will load on the front end like we just saw here. You should ask yourself, in the case of new products, if you're going to be fulfilling with a print-on-demand provider, or for example, you are your own provider, you are your own fulfillment, you have your own workshop, your own printer, or you have a local printer and you're going to be working with them. You can also use Customily in those cases. So it's very important to know where are you standing. And also ask yourself, will you be using our designs, or you want to create your own designs from scratch, upload your own images, backgrounds, and fonts, and create stuff on your own? So depending on how you answer these questions, you will face yourself with these four scenarios. You may want to use with a print-on-demand provider, use their own products, and add a design from the Customily library. This is a very fast process and will allow you to have a ready-to-sell products in minutes. You can also use the print-on-demand provider and design your own personalizable artwork. In that case, we have a design studio that has a lot of tools for you to create your own art. Now, on the other hand, if you are going to be fulfilling your own products, perhaps you don't have any listings yet, and you want to create those product bases that will later become multiple products with multiple designs. In this case, you should create in our design studio your own mockups. And then you can combine your mockups with Customily designs and create new products, or combine your mockups with your own designs and also create products. So as you can see, there are a lot of tools, and it's very important to to understand where are you standing and which is the best way to use Customily. So let's start from the beginning. Now, I'm a store owner and I just installed Customily, so this is where I'm landing right now. At the beginning, you will get an onboarding, and I highly recommend you follow that onboarding. You answer the same questions I just mentioned you, and the onboarding will guide you through the different sections of Customily that will be the best match, the best fit for your particular business. But once you're here, you're in the start section, and you can easily go and create new products. You also have a first glimpse at your design collection and your product-based collection. Remember, designs are your exclusive clip arts and artwork that will go into any product. And if you click here, you will see that we are integrated with many print-on-demand providers and more to come. So you could pick any of these POD products and add one of these designs in your collection when you start creating designs. Or if you're not going to be working with this and still want to use product bases, you can create them on your own and have them listed in this collection. So this is the very fast and first step you can take in creating new products. Later, when creating designs and product bases, you can go to the left side menu and browse through the different sections. In this case, my designs and my product bases have their own section in which you can manage them and clone them, delete, rename, manage them any way you want. The next sections are very important because are the core elements of Customily. In the templates section, you will find all the templates that are being used right now in Customily in your store. So whatever template is created from the combination of product and design will be stored in this section. Also, if you create new templates, they will be stored in this section. So here you can, again, rename, clone, delete, manage all your templates that are the core files of Customily. In the libraries section, you'll be able to upload whatever assets you have of your own. For example, fonts. We have font libraries, we have vector libraries, image libraries, and color libraries. So if you want to create your own color palette or you want to upload your own fonts and create collections so you can quickly use them on templates and designs, libraries is the best way to go. Also, when you create products using Customily designs, all the clip arts will be stored in here so you can freely access them and use them any way you want. Dogs, cats, people, all that. In the store section is where you can see all your store products, either Shopify, Etsy, or any e-commerce platform. You can manage everything in the store section. And you can see which products are actually linked to Customily and loading templates. You'll be able to see which templates are being loaded, which options are being loaded, and you can modify any of that, manage that any way you want, as well as also change many settings that will help you customize the front-end experience for your customers. In the order section, we are going to start to see all the purchases made using Customily. Right now, this section is available for Shopify stores only, but always the customized information of each purchase will be stored in the order dashboard of each e-commerce platform. In here, you will have a backup that will allow you to double check what the customer input in each section, what they chose, the print file, the preview, everything will be stored in here as a backup also. Okay, so now that we know how to navigate around this, we're going to create some products. And the idea is to create this hand towel. As you can see, this hand towel is being fulfilled by CustomCat. So I can actually grab this, this towel and put a design to it. Very important is whenever I want to use CustomCat, you see some print-on-demand providers will have automatic fulfillment indicated below. So these automatic fulfillment print-on-demand providers have API support. And if you have an account with them, you can retrieve the API of those accounts and integrate them in Customily. To integrate, for example, CustomCat, you need to go to settings at the top of the screen where you see this navigation bar here. And on the settings stage, you will go to integrations tab. In here right now, for example, I have a Printful integration and a Printify integration, and I'm going to pick from my drop-down menu from any available PODs, CustomCat. I'm going to click on Enable Integration, and it will show up on my list. Now, all I need to finish this is the API key. To find that API key, I need to learn what it is. we have this link here, which is a help center article, and it will guide you really nicely because it has a lot of images. So you can navigate the different pages and find the API key. In the case of CustomCat, you see you need to go through these steps, follow every instruction, retrieve the code, paste it in here, and it will validate the key. Then you need to save the settings here. It's going to turn green. And now you are fully integrated with CustomCat, meaning that every purchase that is made using Customily and this product will go straight for fulfillment without me having to do anything manual. So let's go back to the start and let's check out the product I want to create. I can go and create new product, go to CustomCat, and browse through different products that have been integrated with Customily so far. If you don't see the product you want to sell, you can request that to our support team, and we're going to see if they support API and we can integrate them. So I'm going to pick the hand towel 15 by 30 inches. There's no variants here, just a front print area and a white color. So I can click next. Sometimes you have, for t-shirts, for example, you have multiple colors, multiple sizes. You need to pick at least one variant of each available variants. So basically you can put together a new listing in your store. So when I'm ready with the variants, I click next, and here I get to pick my design. If I have been creating designs, I can find them in my design collection. But if not, I can always use Customily designs. And you see here we have over almost 250 designs made from our illustration team. And you can browse through the different categories in the all categories here, or find them in here, as well as searching by keywords. And you will see that we have a lot of theme related or chapter related designs, as well as certain products that have specific sizes or specific shapes, and we can actually provide some initial designs that you can later go there and you can modify whatever template is created. You can stay with the shape and change the characters, the quotes, anything. You're free to use these designs later any way you want. But I'm not going to use any of these designs today. I'm going to create my own design. And let's say I go to the My Design collection, and let's say I actually have a design. Because, well, probably I did some design and I created, let's say, a monogram for an envelope or another product that I wanted to use monograms. And I have this design already here in my collection. For example, this split initial, this is a design that I have. Or I have another that is called the, let me see if I have for initials, because I wanted to do something with initials. But instead of creating something from scratch, if I already have something that I created, I can actually clone it and reshape it to fit a new towel. So for example, free initials is an interesting design that I created that if I edit this, I can see that it's actually a square design with an initial in here. It also has like a transparent frame that will shape this print area and make sure the text shows on the corner. Yeah, but this particular text has actually two fonts, Synset and Monogram, and it's very interesting because you can actually type like this, and it looks really nice. So I want to use this design. I don't want to modify the original, so I can go back to my design collection, look for the free initial design, this one, free initials, and clone it. When I clone it, it will show up at the last page, like here. This is the cloned version, and I can change this. I can click here for, and I'm going to say these free initials for live session towel. Okay, and I can now edit this independently from the original design, because let's say I want to keep that square shape, but now I want to create something in a more portrait way for towels and blankets, who knows. So I'm going to edit this and I'm going to find basically the same, the original design with this particular size. If I know the dimensions of my product, which is, as you know, 15 by 30, I can click on the resize button and I can choose inches and resize this 15 by 30. I'm going to click edit page and you see the proportions will change and my objects, which are the transparent frame and the type your initials, will be here still around. I just need to reshape and resize. So what I can do is I can start by picking my transparent frame. This frame basically it's an empty box, but if I make sure it has the right dimensions of the canvas that I'm using as a guidance, I will make sure that my design will fit perfectly on this particular towel. So there's a tool here called the fit to canvas that will shape this exactly the way I want. And then I can bring the text back here. And obviously this is way too big. So I'm going to just shrink it to the corner. There's a message here telling me that the size I have is too small for the characters. Probably because if you open the character section where you can manage the fonts and the sizes, you will see that right now this box is 193 point, almost 194 points, but I actually have a minimum size of 350. That's too much. So I'm probably going to put this in 190. Now I'm able to see that. And I'm able to type something. So see, just to see. You see, the minimum size that I picked will not allow me to have free initials, which is something that I want to offer, at most free. So I will have to drop my minimum size until I'm able to fit free initials like that. Yeah, so 145 will match this. And remember, I have two fonts, so I should check in the options section here, the second font. And the second font is not fitting at all because it's too big for the box. So either I make the box bigger or I actually keep reducing the minimum size to fit like that. So right now at 140, I get to see this font. And at 140 here also, sorry, I get to see this other font at 149. So at least I make sure that with free, with these two fonts and free letters, I'm able to fit in the box I want. So far so good, this is what I want. My original design didn't have colors for the monogram, but I actually want to add some colors. So if I close the character tab here and I open the color tab, the default is black, but I can actually pick any colors. You see, I can pick black and then I can go option number 2, pick another color, option number 3, and so forth, so forth. But if I created a color palette or a color library, I can just pick my library and make sure that I have probably 6 or 7 options of colors automatically. So you see, it's a lot of time saving to have libraries available. Okay, so now, okay, yeah. So now what I want is another twist on my design. I want this towel to have a monogram below and a monogram on top. Why? Because basically I wanted to improve this by having 2 monograms for the 2 partners of the couple. So if I open my layers tab, this is type your initials, and I guess I will need to change this to type partner 1 initials, and then I can copy this, or I can just click here and say Control-C and Control-V to create a new copy. It's a new element independent from the first one. That is going to be the partner 2 initials. Now, this monogram will be on the top, but because this towel usually is hanging on the, it's probably going to look by hanging on the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around this this monogram. I can do this by grabbing this grapple and flipping this like this, or I can just open the transform tab and input the degrees manually. Most important in here, if you see when I'm actually typing something, my texts are aligned to the right. And in this case, I should make sure the same. If I open the character tab, I will see that the horizontal alignment, instead of being to the center, it should be to the right, like this. So whenever I type something, it will be to the right. So now they are exactly the same because they have the same fonts, they have the same colors, they just behave independently, and they are positioned independently. And that's all we need for our new design. We picked an existing design and we remade it for a towel fitting. I can now save this design. And very important, one thing I did is I modified elements. I did not resize or rearrange. I actually created new elements, added colors, added fonts and stuff. So if I just modify something on my template that is just resizing and repositioning, I can save it like that without changing the options. But if I actually added new items and new possibilities and new options to my design, then I should update my options. So Customily will make sure to create all the necessary options for this product, this design to work later on a product. So right now, my design is here. My new options are here. I can check them out. For example, if I click on the edit options, I will see what Customily created. I have type the partner one initials. This is a text. Let me just preview this with you. Type the partner one initials, and I'm going to put this here. One thing I can do is I can open this and do some constraints. For example, 3 characters maximum, and restriction to letters with no spaces. That's a great way to avoid customers typing something. Now, the type partner one initials font, this is the font selector, and it's not very nice looking. So I'm going to click this to locate the option like this and change this to partner one initials font. That's better. Then the same goes with the color, partner one initials color. If I keep scrolling down, I will find the same settings for the other monogram. Partner 2 initials. This will have 3 characters, will have a restriction. And if I click on this one, I just want to delete this type. It's very ugly. I quickly locate stuff by using the pencil here. But you see, Customily created all these swatches and options right there automatically. You don't have to do anything on your own. And when you're happy with this order and these settings, just click Save Option Set. And that's it. You're ready to create a new product. So if I go back to the Start section, I can create a new product. I can pick CustomCat, find the hand towel, 15 by 30, no variants to pick. Next, pick my designs, and I'm just going to find the last one on the collection, which is the 3 initials for the live session towel, like this. Whenever I click on the design, a new process begins. And the first thing is Customily will create a template. Why? Because right now all I have is an independent design and an independent product information from CustomCat. When you combine those two, you create a template. You create a file that will have the preview, which is what's loading right now, and the print information. And it's loading with specific options on the front end. This is the final revision. And you can see that I have a mockup that CustomCat sent over, and I can type something like my initials, like this. So I can change probably the color, as you can see, and I can change the font. It's going to look like that. I can match them, or I can just have them independent. It's entirely up to you. But customers can do this, or You can allow whatever they want to do. You see how easy it is to quickly customize something, preview that live, and be ready to purchase. So as I am playing around with these options, and I can preview just this, if I'm happy with this example, I can set it to be my main listing photo in the new listing that is being created right now. Also, I have some shortcuts that I can later go to Shopify. But for example, I can change the name of the product, very recommended, by clicking heading here on Edit Product Details. In this section, I can change this to couples monogram hand towel 15 by 30, price, I don't know, 25. You can change the description if you want. If you have multiple variants, they will show up here. If not, just one. But this is a quick setup, so you can actually save these product settings on Shopify or Etsy and be ready to publish and just go straight to selling if you have traffic in your store right now. So if you click publish, one thing that will happen is the system will let me know if I still don't have my API key for CustomCat or any POD I'm using. Remember, I show you how to do it, but I never actually input the API key, so it never saved. And so the system will let me know when I don't have the API key, so the fulfillment cannot be automatic. Whenever I put the API, this message will not show again, and the full system and full features of Customily will be available. So right now, I have a new listing on my store. This couples monogram hand is live and working on my front end, loading a specific template that resulting from combining my design with the CustomCat information, and I can type in whatever I want and see how it looks. And I can play with this and this, and see how things look. So this is one way of creating a brand new product using your designs or even using Customily designs. And I want to show you another scenario in which I want to turn a product into something customizable. This is a product that I have on my Shopify stores. It's a stone coaster. It's a set of stone coasters, and I want to offer this as customizable. So let's say I have this photo only, or maybe I have multiple photos. In fact, I can actually come here, and this is my basic listing. I can add more photos and keep it like this. But if I want to show a preview, I can use this image. To turn this stone coaster basic listing into something customizable, I need some previous information. First, I need an image of the product without customization. That's very important. I would definitely need a real example of a customized product so we can put together a nice preview. But most important, I need the specific print area that the coaster needs. Okay, so let's say I have my own machine and I know I need a I don't know 6 by 6 centimeter print area. So that's very important, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a template. Just like that. Instead of letting Customily create the template by combining information, I will provide all the information on my own. So I will go to Customily and I will go to the templates section. One thing you can do in the template section is if you arrange by last modified, you will see, for example, this hand towel 15 by 33 inches cloned. This is the last template that was created based on the information that I selected from CustomCat and from my design collection. You see, always a template is created, and that's very important because this unique template with this unique ID is loading on the front end each time. But I can create new templates. And when I create a new template, I go to our design studio. So I'm going to call this the stone coasters. like I said, I know for a fact that my print area is going to be 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters, like that. So I'm ready to. I always start with the print area because I need to put together my printable design first, and then I'm going to create the page. We are right now in the first step, the production file settings. Here I will create the customizable design that I want to print. So what I want to print, and I have a lot of tools here, it can be anything I can imagine. For example, I can create text boxes so customers can input their own text. The same with the curved text. Image and vector placeholders are objects that will allow customers to shoppers to upload their photos, for example. So whenever you have a design that involves customers uploading their own files, will be a placeholder what you need to use. Maps and star maps are really great features to customize locations and moments of the sky. And we actually have a lot of live sessions in our YouTube channel that show how to use these tools really great. Finally, dynamic elements, dynamic images and dynamic vectors. Very important to pay attention to the icons because placeholders will have only one icon, meaning that you can upload, your customers will upload one image. But dynamic elements have 4 icons. Why? Because in these objects, you can basically upload anything you want, any image, any vector that you have as part of a design, like a background, like a quote, like characters, hairstyles, whatever you want to offer as customization, you can upload in these objects. This object can be any size or whatever, and they can be, if you upload one image, it's going to be a background. But you see, like the fonts and the colors, you have multiple options inside the same object. So you can upload unlimited images and they will become choices for your customers. So dynamic elements are very important, and you can use them to either upload static images or product images or choices for your customers. In this case, what I want to do is I want to offer a split initial like we did before with the monogram, but this monogram actually has a special font that you will find that later when we upload this recording to YouTube. You will find the font available is called the split initial. If I find it, yeah, like that. Yeah, this split initial can be fit anywhere on the print area. So I can click on the fit to canvas like that. And let me see if I can control a bit of the size. I want to make it bigger and bigger and bigger like that. The font itself may not be fully centered, but you can always, just adjust the position so it's going to look centered. Depends on the font. This particular font doesn't have that particular centering, but still it works. And you can actually type in whatever you want. This area here is for testing your text. So I can type anything, and you see there are all letters are available. So if I open the layers, I will see that text 1 is the first element I have created, and I'm going to change this to type initial, like that. Then I want to create another text box that will be the center text, like this. So I'm going to just extend this. I'm holding the shift key so I can extend this both sides. Otherwise, I will extend one side and then I will extend the other one like that. And then I'm going to stretch this. It doesn't matter if it's stretching, is basically just adapting like that. So this is the area for the, so something like this. You can type anything you want. And just to test, try to use this testing area for the worst case scenario. And And in the character section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my font to something more more attractive to and matching the the split initial. And also I want to check okay, so I want everything in caps. And let's check always the dropped. Let's always check the drop letters like the J, the G, the Y. I have all caps, so not most of them. But you see, just to see that this letter will not somehow touch the line here. You see, when I go to the maximum size, apparently I'm touching this. So if you don't want this, you can either control the maximum size. You see right now we have a 17 maximum size. So if I go 16, now things look better. If I keep typing, what will happen is at some point I will not see any more characters because I have reached my minimum size. If I want to fit more characters, I can reduce my minimum size, but not too much because it will start to look lost in the center. So okay, so 10 is the minimum size. This is as small as I can go, and 16 is the maximum size. So my J will not touch the line. Once I am happy with setting up this app, I need to make sure that I'm actually printing this the right way. Why? Because like I said before, Customily will create the print file. So your machine should be able to read the Customily file format. And for that, we have a lot of options that you can select if you want this exported. So in this case, my machine will read an EPS CMYK black letters, black text, and then it's going to print on the coasters, but it's going to print with a special ink. So we're going to see that later. But right now, the information that our printer needs is actually this in black in EPS CMYK format. So once we have this all set up, we can jump to the next step, which is putting this printable design on a nice mockup. So whenever I click next, I go to the second stage in which I can start with a background color or with a background image. Background colors can be really interesting, especially if your store is not white in background. It actually has like a particular code. You can have that background, so it's going to, the Customily preview will match the background. And later, you may want to add multiple images of your product. For example, when you have multiple colors or multiple materials, you can later add images. So you start with a background color. Now, if you have one single image of your product and you will not be doing anything else, you can start with a background image, which is faster. So I just come to upload background image, pick this, and now I have my mockup ready. Now you see I have this background and I have my two printable elements here. One thing I can do in the preview settings, right now we are on the second and final stage. The preview is putting these elements that I want to print, that I missed this, let's type your name. I'm going to grab these two elements and I'm going to shrink them and make sure they fit the real print, area. Okay, so if I know, because I have, of course, a sample already, if I know this is how it's going to look, I can zoom in. Let me, zoom in like that, and it's not that center, but it's looking good. This is how it's going to print on size and position, right? But what about the color? One thing you can do in the preview is you can independently change the color and the effect of any text that you are going to be printing. Think about the engraving on a jewelry. You're probably going to be printing black because the laser engraving will need that information, but you want to present the engraving on silver, gold, or rose gold, for example. So you can change colors just for the preview settings. And what I can do here is say, okay, so basically my print is like a gray, like that, like a strange gray, or slightly silver, and like that. Okay, yes. And if I want to provide a slight texture, I can, for example, open this and apply some pre-made textures that will add some realism. For example, sanded glass will look something like this. Yeah, so apparently this could be an end result. It looks pretty nice, but you can check out for metal, for leather, for leather looks pretty much like leather, like that. Now this is really interesting because it's in the embroidery part is also is giving a specific idea of the finished product without affecting the print. So let me check this color and copy this, yeah, because I want to do the same color for the other text. And I also want to go for the same texture, which was felt. And then I'm going to type. As you can see, this is a mockup, and this is going to be customizable because now I can type this and see how it looks customized and ready for our customers to see the live preview of how it looks. If there's nothing else I want to do about this, I can go next and do a final revision, and you will understand better how templates work in Customily. You see, on the same file that is loaded on the front end, the two systems will coexist. The preview, which is what the customer is looking at, and the production file, which is what we need fulfilled. And whenever a customer types something, it's going to reflect on both sides, even if they have the different color, different shape, different size, anything. They can also be rotated and anything, but you see they update automatically. So whatever customers type in will be automatically generated a print file without any errors or missed information. So let's save it. And each time you save a template, you get this. You get a unique ID, of course, and you can go back to the template section, or you can connect to a Shopify product or any other product. Remember, this template creation process is valid for any WooCommerce, Walmart, Magento, BigCommerce. We integrate with all those platforms, and this process of creating templates is available for all platforms. But when you reach the store section, right now I'm in the store section, I can see all my products in Shopify. In fact, if I have multiple stores, I can browse through them and I can see which products are linked to Customily, all my products, or eventually the not linked one. And these are the ones that I want because you see here I have the stone coasters as one of the products in my store that has not been connected. So if I want to connect this, I click on the product and I get to see the listing photo, the name. I have a quick access to view this on the store, and I have some Customily tools here. I can choose to connect, to link a template to this product. Whenever I link a template, for example, the last one is the stone coaster, I can create the options automatically or say not now because I want to use another options that I already have, or I want to create them manually. That's entirely up to you. But if you want to automate the process, just click on create options. And that's it. You now have options based on the information that you provided on the template. So if you provided multiple colors, multiple fonts, multiple images, image upload, whatever, Customily reads all that and creates the options. So I'm going to save this product, just double checking. And the stone coasters that I had here, I can now refresh and my original listing will turn into a customizable product. So I can type this Yeah. And now I'm live previewing what I'm going to get when I buy this. Moreover, you see type initial seems to be like I can keep breaking stuff and it's going to look really ugly. And the same here, I can go into 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 14, 16. So I could actually fit up until, I don't know, 14 characters here. So I can go back to Customily, open my options by clicking here, and customize my options. You can customize this any way you want because you want the user experience to be really fast and easygoing, and you don't want any mistakes. So in the type initial, which is if you preview, you will see you have two options: type initial and type your name. So in type initial, you can set this to be a one maximum character length and only letters with no spaces. That's a certainty that customers will not make any mistakes. And on the second one, if I click on the pencil, I will locate the type your name. I could actually put also a number of characters limit of 15. Maybe I want to put restrictions, maybe I don't. Let's keep it like that. Save the options and don't reconnect anything. You don't have to do that. You have already the option file and the template file. So whatever you modify of them, they will save and update automatically here. So if you refresh, you will now see the options that are more limited. So if I type a 5, I don't get to see anything. If I type a G and then I keep typing, I will not see more than one character. In this case, it's the same. I have a 15 character limit. So this is a finished product. This is customizing with Customily. All the print information and all the order details and the text details that the customer input will go to the Shopify store order dashboard. And also it will go to the Customily order dashboard as a backup. So questions so far? Where did I get the second line of text? It's because I have actually two text boxes. Let me show you here. When you go to this setting, you can quickly click on this shortcut to open the template you're working with. So if I click here, I will find my template and I can edit. When I edit my template, I see I have two text boxes. I created one text box and then another text box. One text box is the initial, and the other text box um, is the name. And I can keep adding text boxes if I want to, and curved text boxes as well if I want to. There's no limitation in the number of elements you want. It's entirely up to whatever you want to design and whatever you want to offer as customization. I hope now you have things a bit more clear as to how Customily works and how you can either create new products in your store or work with your existing products by manually creating templates. In all cases, templates will be created. You can do that by hand or you can automate the by combining designs and product bases. But always the end result will be a template. Always you can modify, customize, and improve the user experience and the process of customization. And you're in full control of the mockups and everything, so you can pick the best mockups that will suit your ideas and make them look really nice. So if you have further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team. You can find them over email, over a live chat. And also, if you join our Facebook communities, you will meet a lot of people using Customily, trying out stuff, sharing tips, asking questions. So it's a great way to learn more, to practice more, and help others also in the process. Finally, September is almost over, but you can still collect tickets for our September challenge. We are just around the corner to communicate the winners. So last few days to add more tickets to your challenge. So I hope you actually do that and win something. Yes. So this is all for today. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next week with starting brand new live sessions of October, new redesigning and great new ideas to share with all of you. So have a great weekend and see you next week.